As like the convolution process, in the correlation process also, there it will be the two operands. So these are basically the two signals. So the two signals will be involved into the process of correlation here. Now, as we have the convolution as a signal processing task, then what is the necessity or what is the objective to carry out the correlation here? So in order to have the correlation between the two signals is just to have the measurement of degree with respect to which the similarity between the two signals can be there. So the correlation gives us the information of similarity. In the percentage also we can get the normalized value also we can get into the form of correlation coefficients also. So the extraction of some kind of similar information between the two signals is nothing but determination of the correlation here. Now the various applications with respect to the correlation can range from the radar systems, sonar systems, where the signal detection is basically of prime importance, along with the digital communications in general. Geology also holds the application of the correlation here. Now here for example we shall discuss the two examples basically. The first one we shall talk about the radar signal reception problem here. The pictorial representation of the same can be given with the help of this figure here. Now in this particular figure you can see at this particular ground place we have the antenna. The antenna basically the popular one, parabolic antenna, dish antenna it is known, and this particular antenna is acting as a transmitting antenna as well as the receiving antenna here. So from this particular antenna towards the object here, for example we have the aeroplane here, it is sending the transmitted signal and we are expecting this transmitted signal to get reflected back from this object in the space, and we are supposed to have the reception of the reflected signal here. Now with respect to such a radar system here, mathematically we can have the representation of the received signal that is reflected from the object by y of n here. So here we mathematically represented y of n, that is the received signal, where it is in two terms. In the first term we have x of n minus d. So originally x of n is the transmitted signal here. Now as we have this signal transmitted into the space that incidents onto the object and get back into the reflected form, the time taken in this particular journey is basically the delay. The moment exactly at which we have the signal transmission and the moment at which we get back the received signal. So here it is the round trip delay that we can represent by capital D here. So the received signal y of n totally depends upon x of n minus d here. So x of n is the representation of original transmitted signal here. Now while having this journey into the space for the transmitting signal and the reflected signal, there it is the account of losses. So in general, instead of having the representation of a, we can denote it by alpha also. Alpha is basically the attenuation coefficient here. So the measurement most possibly we hold in terms of decibels here. So this is the first term having the information with respect to the signal that has been transmitted with the concern of the round trip delay denoted by capital D and the losses occurred to it in terms of alpha represented here. Now it has been added to the second term that is represented as W of n here. So W of n is nothing but the additive noise into the communication system. So this is nothing but the noise that has been picked up by the receiving antenna. The same antenna is working as the transmitting as well as the receiving antenna here. The duplexer antenna most possibly we refer to such type of. Now in this particular system, as shown into the pictorial representation, the object is the aeroplane. If such a target is not at all present over there, So that time the mathematical representation of the above type will not have the noise alone here, will not have the signal, but it will be holding the W of n only here. Now in this application, as we have represented x of n, we can call it to be the reference signal that has been transmitted here, y of n the received signal. Now the problem comes to have the comparison of y of n the reflected signal to that of the transmitted signal. So the left hand side represents the reflected signal and the right hand side the component represents the transmitted signal. We have to carry out the comparison in between the two here. So we come to see that the transmitted signal is heavily corrupted, and most of the time the y of n does not reveal the presence or absence of the desired signal reflected from the target. So whatever the motive of this particular application is there, it may also be possible that it doesn't get completed here. So therefore in such application there it is the necessity to carry out the correlation that we are going to see in this particular video. We have another application as well. The application will be the broad one, that is of the digital communication, whereupon the signals mostly we deal into the binary form. So the binary form holds the information either in terms of ones or zeros. So many a times it becomes a question whether we have detected 1 or 0. So similar kind of mathematical equation as like the previous case we can give here. So here we have y of n that has been the received signal that has traveled for a journey through the communication channel, where we had the transmission of x suffix I of n, which is finally added to the additive noise. Here we have W of n here. So I can be either 0 or 1 here. So there it will be the question whether we have received x suffix 0 of n, that it was transmitted, or we have received x suffix 1 of n. So in such applications also there it is the necessity of the correlation to be computed here. Now in this regard we first of all understand the cross correlation and next to that the autocorrelation. So these are the two types of the correlations we shall be understanding for the signal processing this. So very first of all we see the cross correlation sequences. So I must make it clear, as the correlation is the measurement of similarity. So here in terms of cross correlation we have the two real signals. So in general if we have the representations of the input signals for which we are going to see the cross correlation, so these may be x of n and y of n, the cross correlation between these two can be mathematically represented as small r suffix xy as a function of L. Here it has been represented onto the left hand side, mathematically computed by having the summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity operated over the multiplication of x of n to that of y of n minus L, where this L holds the values 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2 and so on. The equivalent form of the cross correlation between the x of n and y of n can also be expressed into the mathematical form given here. So here on to the left hand side we have the same representation, x suffix xy, r suffix xy as a function of L. Now here it is computed at n is equal to minus infinity to infinity. We take first of all x of n plus L multiplied further to y of n here. Again L holding the values 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2 here. Now in the representation of the cross correlation sequence that has been r suffix xy, we have the small l here. So this small l is nothing but the time shift or the lag parameter representation here, and the suffixes x and y are nothing but the representations of the two operating signals for which we carry out this computation of cross correlation here. Now in the representation of this particular suffix as like the x preceding y, this is basically the direction in which we have to carry out one sequence shifting relative to the another sequence here. So in the similar fashion of xy for the cross correlation, we can also have the cross correlation expressed for r suffix yx as a function of L here. So the mathematical representation can be given in this form here. So here you can check the suffix r suffix yx as a function of L. So here it is, the summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity carried over the multiplication of y of n to that of x of n minus L, L holding again the same values 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2 and so on. The equivalent form for the same subscript direction yx can be again given here into the new form, where we have summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity y of n plus L multiplied to x of n here. Now if we compare these two representations, this is for the cross correlation but into the direction yx, to the earlier where we have the cross correlation into the direction xy, the conclusion we can make that we have the cross correlation r suffix xy as a function of L, nothing but the r suffix yx as a function of minus L here. So as you see here the negative sign for the L onto the RHS, we can say that r suffix yx of L is simply the folded form of r suffix xy of L represented onto the left hand side here. Now we shall see that the representation of the cross correlation r suffix xy of L is basically obtained by having x of n L that has been convolved with the y of minus L here. So the convolution we have already learned into the previous video into the same chapter, the digital spectrum here. So here it is the information with respect to the cross correlation. Both the types of representations, either you go in the direction xy or yx, we have seen the mathematical representation. So based on this understanding, let us have a simple problem to get this concept more clear for the cross correlation here. So the problem statement can be the simplest one: to determine the cross correlation sequence for the input sequences given by the first sequence we give at x of n. So within the curly brackets we hold the components onto the positive as well as the negative side here, whereupon we have provided such arrow below this element. So here it means that this particular element is at the value n is equal to 0. In general L is equal to 0 also you can take it. So onto the positive side we hold the values 2, minus 3 and rest of all the values we have 0. Onto the negative side we have 7, 3, minus 1, 2 and so on. So this is the one operating signal. Now we require another discrete sequence that can be denoted as y of n here. So y of n is having the origin at this particular element where we have the representation of the arrow. So this is at n is equal to 0. On the positive side at n is equal to 1 we have the value 1, n is equal to 2 we have minus 2, n is equal to 3 we have the amplitude 5, rest of all others are zeros. On to the negative side we have minus 2, 2, minus 1, 1. Now these are the two discrete time sequences for which we have to make the computation for the cross correlation here. Now the cross correlation can be represented r suffix xy, so as a function of L or in general n. The first value we can determine for rx of 0 here. So for r suffix xy of 0 we get the computation as like we have the summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity for the product x of n in multiplication to y of n here. So because of the L value equal to 0 we have this particular form. So the process seems to be very simple for determination of this value. We have to first of all carry out this particular product or the multiplication of the two discrete time sequences given into the problem statement, and then we have to carry out the summation over the entire range, that it is minus infinity to plus infinity here. So the product of the two can be represented simply by v suffix 0 of n. So this is equal to x of n into y of n here, and next to that, upon having the multiplication, we can see that v of n we obtain with these many values here. So the origin place is at this particular 4 value. So at n is equal to 0 or l is equal to 0, the value it is 4. On to the positive sides we have 2, 6 and rest of the values are 0. On to the negative sides we have minus 14, 6, 1, 2 this way, and rest values are equal to 0. So the multiplication or the product has been computed. Now we have to make the summation here. So carrying out the summation over all the range of the n here, if we get the cross correlation coefficient at the 0th place represented r suffix xy of 0 is equal to 7 here. Now in the similar fashion we can also make the computations for the cross correlation coefficients onto the positive side as well as the negative side. So in general we can categorize them to be r suffix xy of greater than 0 and r suffix xy of less than 0. So for greater than 0 values we have to simply shift the discrete time sequence y of n provided in the problem statement to the right hand side with relation to x of n by the L units in general. Then we have to compute the multiplication with the x of n and finally the summation here. So in this regard we have the values r suffix xy of n 1 is equal to 13, r suffix xy of 2 is equal to minus 18 here. Next to that r suffix xy of 3 is equal to 16, r suffix xy of 4 is equal to minus 7. Rest of the values are r suffix xy of 5, we have the value is equal to 5, then r suffix xy of 6 is equal to minus 3, r suffix xy of L in general is equal to 0 for all other values where we have L greater than or equal to 7. So this is for the positive side here. Now for the negative side we have to shift y of n to the left hand side with relation to x of n by L units here. Now we have to make the computation of the multiplication and finally the summation of these multiplied products here. So in the coefficients this way, the first coefficient onto the negative side is represented r suffix xy of minus 1 here, that holds the computation resulted into the value 0, whereas r suffix xy of minus 2 is equal to 33, r suffix xy of minus 3 we get it to the minus 14 here, r suffix xy of minus 4 we obtain it to be 36 here. Now the next three components are r suffix xy of minus 5 that holds the value computed after multiplication is equal to 19, r suffix xy of minus 6 we have minus 9, at minus 7 position onto the negative side we come with the answer 10, and in general r suffix xy of L equal to 0 when we have L that is less than or equal to minus 8 here. So having the computations of r suffix xy of 0 and the L greater than 0 values, L less than 0 values, the combined representation of the cross correlation sequence for the given two input discrete time sequences can be of this form. So this is nothing but the answer to the given problem statement here. So r suffix xy of L we hold at the 0th place the value computed 7. On the positive side we have the coefficients 13, minus 18, 16, minus 7, 5, minus 3. On the negative side we have 0, 33, minus 14, 36, 19, minus 9 and 10. Rest of the values are equal to 0 here. Now this is all about the cross correlation, that is the measure of similarity contained with respect to the two different discrete time sequences, in general x of n and y of n here. Now it is time to switch to the another type of the correlation, that it is called as the autocorrelation. So this autocorrelation sequence is with respect to the same discrete time sequence, in general represented as x of n here. So the autocorrelation for x of n, the definition can be expressed in the mathematical form by this expression here, where we have the autocorrelation denoted r suffix xx of L here. You can notice here into the subscript to this r here, the suffix here, we have the repetition of x. So here it is the measure of similarity content of x with itself here. So it can be computed by having the summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity over the multiplication x of n to that of x of n minus L here. Now the equivalent representation of this autocorrelation sequence can also be made by this particular form, where we have the representation r suffix xx of L is equal to the summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n plus L multiplied to x of n here. Now in these representations, as the summation have minus infinity to plus infinity as the lowest and the highest thresholds here, as practically we are being dealt by the finite duration sequences, so it also becomes a mandatory to have the representation of the autocorrelation as well as the cross correlation sequences in terms of the finite limits here. So as we have already understood, first of all, the cross correlation, the new form of the mathematical representation, can be made by this equation here, where r suffix xy of L is equal to the summation n is equal to small l up to capital N minus mod of k minus 1 operated over x of n into y of n minus L here. Now for the autocorrelation sequence, we have r suffix xx of L. Here we represent the summation for n is equal to I to again capital N minus mod k minus 1 here operated over x of n multiplied to x of n minus L. So here it is the change. For cross correlation we have y of n minus L in multiplication, whereas for autocorrelation we have x of n minus L here. So in this representation, as we have I, this is nothing but small l, k is equal to 0 for all the values of L greater than or equal to 0, and we have I is equal to 0 for k is equal to L for all the values of the L that are less than 0 here. So here it is the mention of L. Now with the completion of understanding for the cross correlation and now the autocorrelation, we can see the brief review of the properties with respect to these sequences here. So here we start with the properties of the autocorrelation and the cross correlation sequences here. So before the mathematical representation of these properties, we assume that the two sequences are there, as discussed before, x of n and y of n. They hold the finite energy, and the combined representation will be of the linear combination that can be expressed as a in multiplication to x of n added by b in multiplication to y of n minus L here. So here a and small b are simply the two constants, and L, as represented before, it is the time shift parameter here. Now the energy components with respect to these particular signals and in this particular linear combination form can be expressed by the next mathematical expression, where we have the summation ranging for n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity for the square of the bracket that holds a of x of n added by b in multiplication to y of n minus l here. So it will be of the form, we apply the summation on both of the terms and we carry out the square here. So it will be in total 3 terms here. So first of all, a square multiplied to the summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity over x square of n. The last term that we take first of all, that it is b square in multiplication to the summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity over y square of n minus l, and the middle term we write it at end, that it is the plus twice ab in multiplication to the summation carried over n is equal to minus infinity to infinity for the multiplication of x of n with y of n minus l. So this particular right hand side representation of the energy that is a part in this particular signal, we can also express into the compact form where the representations follow. We have the first summation represented, that it is r suffix xx of 0, whereas the second summation is r suffix y of 0, and at last we have r suffix xy of l here. So it is very clear that r suffix xx of 0 is nothing but the autocorrelation coefficient at the 0th place. R suffix y of 0 is again the autocorrelation coefficient at the 0th place, and the first is for the x of n and the second is for y of n here. So these energies can also be represented as capital E suffix x at this place and capital E suffix y at this particular place here. Now here at last we have the cross correlation representation r suffix xy as a function of l here. So from the above equation, it is very much clear that the right hand side representation is greater than or equal to 0 here. Now we have the assumption that the b is not equal to 0. So in that particular regard, we can have the division to this particular equation that we have shown to be the non-zero, of course a greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0 here, by the division of b square. We get it to the form rxx of 0 in multiplication to a by b multiplied further to 2. This is the first term. Second term is 2 multiplied to r suffix xy of l in multiplication to a by b further added to r suffix yy of 0. The RHS we keep it the same, greater than or equal to 0. So this is nothing but the quadratic form representation of the equation here. So for the quadratic form representation, we can have the determination of the roots or the discriminants here. So the determination for this particular equation can be with the help of, we have 4 in multiplication to the bracket where we write r suffix xy of l, that is squared, minus rxx 0 multiplied to ryy of 0. So this is less than or equal to 0 here. Now the cross correlation sequence satisfies here the condition that we can mathematically represent it as mod of the cross correlation sequence r suffix xy of l less than or equal to the square root of the multiplication of the two rxx of 0, the autocorrelation for x of n at 0th place, and y suffix r suffix yy of 0 here. So we can have the representations in the place of the 2 by ex ey here. So square root of ex ey, here it is at the place of this magnitude of the cross correlation sequence here. Now in the special case, if we have y of n nothing but x of n, so that time the above representation reduces to the form that we can give it mathematically like this. So here we have the representation r suffix xx of l, the autocorrelation sequence magnitude, less than or equal to r suffix xx of 0 which is simply equal to E suffix x here. Now the autocorrelation sequence of the signal that we see in this particular mathematical representation seems to have attained its maximum value at the zero lag here. Now the representation of the autocorrelation information can also be into the normalized form here. Now for the normalized form, whatever r suffix xx of 0 is there, we can have the entire autocorrelation sequence divided by it, which is giving us the autocorrelation coefficient here. So autocorrelation coefficient in general can be denoted by the symbol rho here. So this should be rho suffix xx as a function of L. So it can be obtained by having division of r suffix xx of L by r suffix xx of 0 here. So in the similar fashion, as we have the correlation coefficient for the autocorrelation case, the normalized cross correlation sequence can also be obtained, that can be represented by this equation. So here we have rho suffix xy as a function of L obtained by, here we have r suffix xy of L, the total cross correlation sequence, and now here it is divided by the square root of the multiplication of the two autocorrelation sequences at the 0 at place here. So we have r suffix xx of 0 multiplied to r suffix y of 0. The multiplication of the two we put under the square root and we carry out the division here. Now as we have clearly seen that the cross correlation sequence follows the folding property, the mathematical representation of the same can be given that r suffix xy of L is equal to r suffix yx of minus L here. Now here if we have y of n to be equal to x of n here, the relation of this particular folding property of the cross correlation sequence also holds true for the autocorrelation sequence, where we can write r suffix xx of L is equal to r suffix xx of minus L here. So r suffix xx is the same, only here it is the positive part L, here it is the negative part minus L here. To see this particular outcome, after substituting y of n to be x of n here, we can say that the autocorrelation function is basically the even function here. So now with this much of understanding, now we switch to the type of the signals to be of the periodic here. So we know that the periodic sequences have the repetitive nature here. So as before, we have been considering for the purpose of correlation the two operating sequences x of n and y of n. Now here we consider them to be of the periodic type, and hence we call them upon to be the power signals here. So power signal holds the repetitive nature, we can call it to be a periodic here. The cross correlation for such a situation we can denote here by r suffix xy of L obtained by having limit capital M tends to infinity for 1 upon twice m added to 1 for the summation n is equal to minus m to capital M for the product x of n into y of n minus L. So if we have x of n to be equal to y of n, we can also get this representation modified to the form of the autocorrelation sequence, where we write r suffix xx of L is equal to the limit m tends to infinity 1 upon twice m plus 1, the summation small n is equal to minus m to capital M x of n multiplied to y of n minus L here. Now in general, if we have the representation of the discrete time period by capital N, in both of these equations we have the summations as we have the limit m tending to the infinity here. The infinite intervals we can get the averages over the single period, and the new representations may be of the form here we have for the first case of the cross correlation, R sub xy of L is equal to the time average. We have 1 upon capital N for the multiplication operated by the summation n is equal to 0 to capital N minus 1. The multiplication is in between x of n and y of n minus L here. The case with respect to the autocorrelation form can be represented with the time averaging here for the single period time capital N by this. So R suffix xx of L is equal to 1 upon n summation n is equal to 0 to capital N minus 1 for x of n multiplied to x of n minus L here. So 1 upon n capital N here it is the normalization scaling factor we can see here. So now this much we have seen with respect to the periodic signals here. Now if we discuss the case of periodic signals that mostly we encounter in practical applications, the two forms of the signals there it will be. So in general, x of n we consider to be the transmitted signal and y of n we consider it to be the received signal. The relationship again between the two will be of the form that the received signal y of n is in two terms where x of n is added by w of n, which holds the information with respect to the additive noise or any kind of the interference that has occurred while the transmission and the reception here. Now for the autocorrelation sequence y of n using the normalization factor by 1 upon capital M here, in general we can have this autocorrelation sequence represented. So R suffix yy of L is equal to 1 upon capital M, the summation n is equal to 0 to capital N minus 1, here it should be capital M, over y of n multiplied to y of n minus L here. Now if we can have the substitution of y of n from this earlier equation which holds two components, that is of x of n and w of n, so that time this autocorrelation sequence get it to the new form. On to the right hand side we represent it as, we have 1 upon m summation n is equal to 0 to capital M minus 1 operated over the two bracket multiplications. The first bracket it will be x of n added by w of n. The second bracket here we have x of n minus L added by w of n minus L. By the next step we get it to the form where we first of all have 1 upon m multiplied to the summation n is equal to 0 to capital M minus 1 operated over x of n into x of n minus L only. We add it further to again 1 by m, the summation n is equal to 0 to capital M minus 1 over the bracket where we have x of n multiplied by w of n minus L, further added to w of n multiplied by x of n minus L, and at last we have the term 1 by m summation n is equal to 0 to capital M minus 1 for the multiplication w of n into w of n minus L here. So we can represent the autocorrelation for y of n, that is R suffix yy of L, into the form we have onto the RHS the four components represented here. R suffix xx of L, the autocorrelation with respect to the x of n, added to R suffix xw of L, this it will be the cross correlation between the original signal x of n with the noise component by w of n here, further added to R suffix wx of L here. The sequence has been the reverse for x and w, and at last we have the autocorrelation sequence for the noise component only, so R suffix w of L here. So here it completes the understanding with respect to the correlation.